Something big just hit the markets. US manufacturing shrinks again, and Japan just dropped a policy bombshell that rattled the global markets. This combination could reshape the next move in stocks. Now, we come over and look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is right down here near the recent low. I personally do not trade Bitcoin, but the reason I like to watch Bitcoin is to look at it as a risk on, risk off type of indicator. And notice we are coming right back down. But one thing I also want to pay attention to, as Bitcoin is coming back down, look at the MACD indicator. Could we potentially be getting ready to set up some type of MACD divergence, especially if Bitcoin is able to sweep those lows? Now, this morning, we had news come out. Manufacturing shrinks for the 9th month in a row. ISM finds tariffs hurt sales and keeps a lid on hiring. Now, the labor market is, Jay Powell and the Fed have been talking about for quite some time that they're worried about the labor market. And that's one of the reasons why Jay Powell could be on the verge of getting ready to cut rates. Well, let's not forget, tonight after the bell, we have Jay Powell slated to speak at 7 p.m. I thought I saw it earlier today, say 8 o'clock. Now it's saying 7 p.m. But keep in mind, with the next FOMC meeting being only 8 days away, that the Fed is in a blackout period, meaning Jay Powell is not going to be talking about monetary policy. However, speaking of monetary policy, if we look at what the Fed watch tool is pricing in, there's an 87% chance that the Fed will be cutting rates this next meeting. But then look at what they're pricing in the next 3 meetings after that. The rates are expected to stay the same. Now, why would that be? Is it because once they cut rates, we're going to see inflation on the move once again? Well, if we come over real quick and we take a look at gold futures, notice we have this ABC target up here, which comes in at 43.90. Now, the way I was able to draw this out was from this low right down here, I grabbed the Fibonacci extension tool. You can find that in most trading platforms. So I measured from right here up towards the swing high, pulled right down to here, and then that projected our ABC target. But if we really start getting much above that, if we look to the left, notice we are very close to new all-time highs. And with gold on the move up, that's letting us know that the market is not buying in the fact that inflation is going to keep subsiding. We come over real quick and we take a look at the fear and greed index. Right now, we're still at 23, which is exactly where we closed on Friday. So as the markets still are not that far away from all-time highs, why are we still over into extreme fear? Now, when we come over and look at how the indices fared across the board today, the Dow was down 427 points. The NASDAQ was down 89 points. S&P 500 down 36 points, with the Russell 2000 being down 3.13. Now, when we look at advancing issues versus declining, we had 65% of issues declining on the day. Then as we come over and look at the sectors across the board, we had a majority of sectors in the red. Now, technology, thankfully, was only down 0.21. The big leader out there today was energy, up 0.59%. But something we really want to pay close attention to is the Bank of Japan rattles the global bond market with the prospect of a rate hike this month. Now, keep in mind, we had the carry trade unwind before, and we have seen what that has done to our markets. And we can come over real quick and take a look at the 10-year yield. Today, we see the 10-year yield doing what? On the rise up. And this is something I've stressed to you guys over and over again. When the 10-year rises, especially if it's an aggressive rise on the way up, normally that is going to go ahead and pressure the stock market. Now, if we come over real quick and we take a look at the SPY, SPY today, you can see we gapped down, we came up. However, on the intraday chart, we did not quite make it up high enough to fill the gap. And it might be a little bit easier to see on the 5-minute chart. Here's the gap. Here's a close on Friday. We gapped down, we came up, making a run, looking like we're good to go ahead and fill the gap. And then oopsie doopsie, we did not make it. The Dow this morning started off very aggressive. And on the live stream, we were saying, watch out, the gap could potentially get filled. But even the Dow got into that candle, rejected right back down quickly. And notice on the Dow, it's closing near the lower end of the range. Now, if we come over and take a look at the volatility index real quick, this is what's called the fear. We look at this as a feared index. Well, if we zoom this out, here's a gap up last night. We got well into the gap. However, we did not close the gap, and the VIX actually closes up 5.51% on this session. Now, coming back over real quick, and we take a look at the SPY on the daily chart. What are we looking at? Well, a lot of people have been looking at this trend line. If we connect the line, something like that, look, we're above the trend line. We did nothing more than come back and test it. Well, I'm going to tell you, do not worry so much about the trend line. Instead, look at the swing point right over here, the swing point from November 25th. What do? We turned right down from that area. So as long as we are below that area, we still have the potential for a lower high. In order to have an uptrend, what do? We need higher highs and we need higher lows. Well, we have lower lows and we potentially have lower highs as well. Now, if we come down and say the market makes it down towards this high volume node, and then we turn back up, well, that's when the tone could start to change. Then we could maybe start saying, okay, we're starting to have higher lows in the market. And at that point, that could potentially set up an ABC pattern, taking out this swing high and potentially pushing the SPY all the way to new all-time highs. Well, if we come over real quick and we look at the options markets real quick, and we can see right up here, we have a lot of GEX exposure. Right up here, right around the 700 strike price is the highest amount of GEX exposure that we have. However, notably, we also have right around 690, 691. We have a lot of gamma exposure as well. To the downside, we can see we have what's called put support all the way down here at 640. So let's just look at this real quick. If we go back and we look at this chart, where is 700 at? 700 would be in the case where we're making new all-time highs. Well, if we look at 640 would be well down, way below this low down here. We come back over and we look at the gamma exposure levels. We have a little bit of gamma right here, right around 670 or so. And if we look at 670, that'd come just below this high volume node on the profile, something I want to pay close attention to. Let's go ahead and grab our Fibonacci retracement. Measure swing low to swing high. Notice the 38% retracement comes in right around 670.95, which would put us right in alignment with that first gamma exposure level. And we'll see, do we come down there and basically reject and head right back up? Now, when we come over and look at the 30-minute volume profile charts real quick, you can see we did break the low from the prior day. We still have several gaps down below us, which have not been filled from the prior week. But I want to caution you guys on something real quick before you get too bearish in the market. Notice the MACD indicator has a bearish cross. But if we still just stay consolidating up here near these upper levels and the MACD indicator gets towards the zero line, watch out. That could be nothing more than a recharge point for another leg higher in this market. Apex Trader Funding drops a major sale, 80% off all evaluation accounts, $40 activation fee. But wait, if you like to trade the 100K accounts, you can get that account for only $59.40. Best yet, that account only has a $10 PA fee. Take advantage of this offer. Use the link in the description box down below. Use promo code Mike at checkout. Now, if we look at the economic calendar for tomorrow, let's go ahead and scroll. What do we have coming out? We have no major economic news. On Wednesday, we have some ADP data coming out. And then on Thursday, we have some weekly unemployment claims. On Friday, we get the core PCE price index, preliminary consumer sentiment, preliminary inflation expectations. We are not going to be getting the NFP data out here this week. Now, we come over and look at the futures markets real quick. We start off looking at the 4-hour time frame and notice we've had this push up, and something I talked about in the Sunday video. I said, watch out. We have value area high right here. The market closed above it. Highly probable the next 1 to 2 sessions, since we're dealing with a weekly profile, either this week or next week, we'd come back and visit that level. Well, we did it on day number 1, and then we rejected right back out. Now, the question is this consolidation caused to go higher, taking out the point of control above us, or to go lower, hitting some of these high volume levels down below us, or even the untested point of control from last week at 67.23? Well, I don't want to worry about the point of control down here unless we start getting back below 68.05 and a quarter, which is the weekly value area high. Now, we come over real quick and we take a look at the daily profiles on the 30-minute chart. We are closing right near the point of control, 68.29.25. Down below us, we have value area low, 68.13 and a quarter, and value area high will be up here about 68.38.25. So one of the ways I want to play this, if you're looking for lower prices, let's wait and see, can we break below value area low? If so, then I want to go ahead and try to retarget the lows from today. However, we want to be flexible, because if we come down below value area low and then the market turns back up, I would then want to target the point of control. I would then want to target value area high. I would then want to retarget the highs from the New York session today, and then maybe even take out the highs from Friday. Anything above and beyond that price point, I would then be looking for 68.73 and a quarter. And then above that, we'd probably be on our way all the way back up, making new all-time highs in the market. Now, we come over and look at the QQQs real quick on the daily chart. What do we have going on over here? You can see we have a case of a high, lower high, lower high, and another lower high. However, if Japan does indeed decide to hike rates, watch out, we are going to be going substantially lower. We can go ahead and grab our Fibonacci retracement tool, swing low, right up here to the recent swing high. Now, if we do break above this recent swing high, we will then need to go ahead and adjust it. But notice we have a gap. We filled one gap right here. We have another gap down below us around 608.98. We have another gap all the way down here at 590.15. Well, the 38% retracement would be what I consider a minor retracement and what could be building an ABC pattern up to take us near all-time highs. However, when we come over and look at the gamma levels real quick, notice we have a lot of gamma exposure down here. Right down here about 590, we have a lot of gamma exposure. To the upside, one of the key levels I will be watching is going to be right up here, right around the call resistance around 630 or so. Well, if we look at the current price, where is 630 at? 630 is right up here, getting very close towards filling this gap. So right now we are still miles and miles away, but I want to look at that 38% retracement right around 604. We compare that. Do we have any gamma exposure? Well, a little bit below that, right around 600, we have quite a bit of gamma exposure as well. 600 also being a nice round number. Well, 600 also correlates very well right near the 50% Fibonacci retracement level. If we look over here on the 30-minute chart, we have a bearish cross in the MACD lines, making its way down towards the zero line. Now, if you notice, we kind of closed in the middle of the range, and I want to caution you guys, if we get down towards the zero line, we are still consolidating right around here. Watch out. I'll be looking for the markets to make another new all-time highs. Now, as we come over and look at the futures markets real quick, for the NASDAQ, what do we have going on? Well, today, we never made it up, hitting the point of control above us at 25,611.75. And we were able, though, to go ahead and take out that untested point of control. And notice we overshot this minus development area. The market rejected, came right back up near the highs from Friday before ultimately coming back down. Come over, look at the 30-minute chart with the daily volume profiles. And one of the areas I was really talking about on Saturday's video was highly probable we're going to come back, re-auction this area, hit the untested value area high. Well, we hit that. We hit the weekly untested value area high. And as we look now, we're closing right near the point of control at 25,394.5. So I want to be on the lookout tonight if we can break above value area high, 25,418.5, or even tomorrow. I want to retarget right around these highs, around 25,491. Then I want to look for the highs from last night, somewhere around 25,544. Anything above and beyond that, I want to turn my attentions right over here towards that untested point of control at 25,611.75. Now, if you trade with Apex or you're thinking about it, you want to make sure you check out these rules. So that way, if you get the payout status, your payout does not get denied.